Nittany Nation, we are back once again. Penn State Live, episode 24 on the Voice of College Football Network here.
Let's go, boys and girls. We got another one here for you. And, unfortunately, still no news is good news, but we're going to bring you some news.
Yeah. I mean, it's Villanova week, our last game before the big Oregon whiteout in 2 weeks. So it's going to be the longest week of our lives next week. Longest 2 weeks, basically.
Yes. We're all going to be sitting here just pontificating, if I may.
Right. It's a lot of that discussion and mood of the whole discussion is going to be based on what happens tomorrow against Villanova. I don't think there's any thought of the win-loss on this, but just how it looks.
Gotta look good. Gotta look crisp at the end of the day here.
I mean, Villanova, they're no slouch. They're ranked 11th in the FCS. Found that out today.
So definitely, a contender in the FCS nonetheless.
But there's different levels for different reasons. And they're still an FCS team. Penn State is not.
No, they are not. They are not UC Davis.
Right. So it sounds stupid to say there's a lot riding on this game. But there's a lot riding on this game as far as vibes and just general discourse.
This game's going to have a lot of implications, I feel like, for Penn State fans. It's going to be something along the lines of believe it or not, I feel like this is a very important game.
Yeah. And it's not so much, how much you win by, but how you look doing it.
100%.
You're looking for a lot of things out of your biggest players. You're looking at Drew needs to show something. Nick Singleton needs to show you something.
Yep.
This offensive line needs to show something in the run game.
We need this team to be absolutely dominant on Saturday. There's nothing left to say there besides that.
Yeah, I feel like the only position group on offense that's really met expectations or even got above expectations is that wide receiver room.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I agree as well. Nothing else is really – I haven't really been impressed with anything else on the offense. But at the same time, the defense is still here just doing their thing.
Yeah. They're causing turnovers with the defensive line. Most interceptions in college football by the defensive line.
Yes. That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm here for.
So, jumping back into, the players that we need to see something from, with Drew, what do we need to see stats from him? Or is it just more of a look, or is it kind of a both? What do you think we need to see from Drew in this game?
That's a good question. As much as the numbers are going to be up because it's an FCS team and everything, no disrespect to Villanova, I just need to see, he needs to look good. I mean, for all I care, he can throw for 200 yards, for all I care. But if he goes 9 for 10, 200 yards, something like that, I'm not against, but I just want him to see him crisp in the pocket. I want him to be able to make the decisions that he needs to make and not overthink it. That's the one thing that we brought up on our last show was overthinking. And it's very important for him to be able to just settle into the game early and just have fun going through the game.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is going to be based on just seeing him be comfortable against a lesser team, like looking like a third-year starter, looking like a senior quarterback that's supposed to be drafted in the first round, looking like he's in complete control of the offense instead of, almost like he's predetermining what he wants to do with the ball. And then I think finally it's just hitting the receivers in stride. There's been a lot of balls that have been behind receivers, underthrown. Haven't really seen many overthrown, but just to see the kind of, like you said, the crispness, like we need to see make the easy pass, lead the receiver, like the guy's open, throw him open. Like it needs to look like it needs to look for a guy that's played this much college football.
100% couldn't agree with you more there. You're a third year. I mean, that's all. You've been a starter now for this is your third year going into starting. You've seen there's nothing that's going to scare you anymore. And I'm just going to go back to what we talked about before, the overthinking. You just need to go out there and have fun. It's football. You've been doing this since you were a kid. Go out there, enjoy yourself. I understand that there's all these huge implications putting on you and that there's all these expectations and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you're still just going out there and playing football. And you've done it your whole life. There's a reason you're here at Penn State. There's a reason that you're the starting quarterback. Just go have fun, bud. Just have yourself a good time.
Yeah. Like put the fun back into the game. And with these expectations, you either crumble under them or you overcome those expectations and be what you're supposed to be. You live out your dream. You live out your expectations. You become the person and the athlete you're supposed to be, or you crumble. Like there's like no in between in this.
No, it's sink or swim 100%. And we just need to see you swim. You're kind of just doggy paddling in the water right now, and I want to see Michael Phelps out there.
We need to like rename the show. We throw a lot of puns out there.
We do throw a ton of puns out all the time.
We do puns, slogans.
We're like the Dr. Phil of college football. The barn door's not open. You ain't gonna let the cattle in now, are you?
Staying on the offense, one of the other players that are overthinking everything was Nick Singleton.
That was so good.
One of the cattle we need to get into the barn here.
See, we need to open the barn door for him. What we got to do? He's what he's got to do is he's got to go into that barn and get himself a horse and get on that horse and start riding it. I want to see that boy riding a horse. I want to see him galloping out there. See, these all work into it too, which is kind of great.
Right. I think this is the week. Like Nick needs to break one this week. Katron broke one last week. He had a career day. He had 143 yards rushing. That's the most he's ever had in a game. And now it's Nick's turn, I feel like, to break one and look good doing it. Like we need more than him just running into the back of his lineman.
Yeah. I think you'll see a little bit more of a utilization of him Saturday. I think, especially since Katron had his day last week. I think Coach Franklin's definitely going to try and see to get him up and running. You gotta have everything up on all cylinders here. So you gotta make sure you get him the reps. You gotta make sure that you get him. Just give him touches, give him opportunities. Everything doesn't have to be between the tackles. Let him run on the outside a little bit. Maybe hit him with a couple screens. A couple swings. Just utilize him. Do a couple different things that make it prevalent for him. Make it once again make it fun.
Yeah,
this is like the ongoing theme here.
Right. If you're overthinking things, like take your brain out and go have some fun. And I think that, like you said, getting him some screen passes, like that might be the ticket to break him out of his kind of little funk early season, is get him in the ball in the passing game.
It really seems that like they've only been utilizing him between the tackles. I think he only had 2, maybe 3 runs to the outside last Saturday, if that, maybe 2. I think he had 1 toss and 1 kind of like 26, like kind of like a veer kind of play. But other than that, he's just going between the tackles. Give him an opportunity to try some different things, have a little fun.
Yeah, like I don't recall him breaking a tackle this year. Like he seems like he just wants to run into people, run over people instead of being elusive and getting in space and making people miss. Like I don't recall him making somebody miss yet this year.
I don't think so either. And now that I'm racking my brain here and I'm trying to figure out if there's something that I could like think of, but nothing really comes off the top of my head that's been super impressive with him.
Right. Like he's got more of a skill set than just lowering the shoulder. Like hit circle or triangle or
use the right joystick. Use the right joystick.
Like he's only using hit stick. Like we can throw other buttons out here.
There are other buttons.
Like while we're talking about offense, let's keep it going. Like wide receivers. Like I feel like they're the one position group so far in the first two games that has lived up to their billing. Like we've seen explosive plays from the receivers, we've seen contested catches, we've seen them open, which was not the case last year. I don't know if there's much more they need to do against Villanova to show us that position group's ready, but it sure would be nice to, hit a explosive play with a receiver this game.
It is refreshing to have to say that the wide receivers are the least of my problems on the offense. I mean, to be honest, the wide receivers are. This is a weird thing because how much we've harped on Drew. It is the wide receivers though. They're the ones making these catches. They're not. These balls aren't getting perfectly thrown to them. They're reaching back. They're getting out there. They're sacrificing their body. They're doing what needs to be done to get these balls down. And it's really indicative where these guys look good this year. Like, the transfers coming in, the guys coming up, everybody looks good. They look when I talk about crisp, the wide receivers look crisp.
Except Liam Clifford.
Why you gotta throw a wrench in the machine like that, bro? Why you gotta do that?
Well, devil's advocate here. Like there is a strong dislike for when they see number 2 out there.
This is true.
but like you said, like it's been awesome seeing wide receivers run good routes, get open, whether that's scheme, skill set, whatever. It's working so far this year. It's been against lower competition. So, I mean, we could completely change our mind when they go against Oregon and it's a Notre Dame repeat where we don't have a receiver with a reception.
And then that will, I think, become indicative of us knowing who's at fault here, because we keep on saying, is this Aller's peak? Is this as good as Drew can be? And if that's the case, when these guys are going out here and making these catches against these, these lower ranked teams, it's not going to be anywhere as easy when you're playing a top 5 team or even a Big Ten team where, that throw is going to, there's a much, much lesser chance of you being able to be an athlete and make that throw against a team like that.
Yeah, for sure. And if we continue to see struggles, that you're building a case against Drew and what his ceiling is. Because 2 years ago, Keandre Lambert-Smith left Penn State. He transferred out, went to Auburn. Last year, he had a good enough season to get drafted in the NFL. Last year, Harrison Wallace III, he transferred. He's at Ole Miss this year. So far through 2 games, he has 2 100 receiving yard games. He had one such game in his entire Penn State career. He transferred to Ole Miss and he's 2 for 2. So, it's really hard without like being an X's and O's person to say, well, how come that didn't work here? Like, what's the difference? Is it quarterback? I don't see it really being scheme, but why can he do it over at Ole Miss? Why couldn't he do it here?
It's it's one of those, and but these kids are young too. Just on the other than that, sometimes you hit a growth spurt in college. You just your body naturally gets bigger. Maybe he was just a little too young for him. If had he had another year, who knows what it would have looked like, and it would have been a very important thing like that. So when you but like you said though, I don't want to think it's scheme. I really and I don't think it is either. On the sole fact that I've seen these wide receivers executing their plays. I see these guys, they're hitting the routes. I think it's just, going back to what we talked about, overthinking and possibly the, just the team. The guy's not. I'm going to keep saying it. The guy's not having fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's part of being quarterback for a top 5 team. I feel like is you're going to sit there and you're going to, with all the expectations, like it could take a lot out of you, a lot out of the team, and it could really hamper your ability to grow and get better when everything's on your shoulders. Like everything is on Drew Aller's shoulders. This team loses a single game this year, it's going to come out on Drew. It's not going to come out on anybody else on this team. Maybe Coach Franklin. But for the most part, Drew is going to catch the majority of the heat if Penn State drops a single game this year.
100%. There's no doubting that. But, he's only one guy at the end of the day, too. Here comes the devil's advocate me. If he's, if he can't step up, then, if this is his peak, then we need to, maybe utilize other assets of the game. Go to shorter routes, more runs, hit the tight ends. You just got to adjust around that. And I'm curious to see, these next 3 weeks are going to be unbelievably long because we're just going to sit here what ifing everything. And at the end of the day, we haven't seen it yet. And we're waiting to see it. And I really hope we see it tomorrow so we can put this all to rest.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about the blueprint all since the show started. I think we've mentioned the blueprint 24 times now because this is our 24th show.
Yeah, probably. That sounds about right.
You look back at last year, Ohio State, the quarterback's not what carried that team. It was the defense that carried that team. You look back at Michigan, it wasn't the quarterback that carried that team. It was the rushing attack and the defense. You look back at Georgia, Stetson Bennett was not some ungodly quarterback either. Like the plan, you don't have to have Joe Burrow. Like Joe Burrow was amazing in 2019.
Might have been the greatest college football team ever.
Yeah. But since then, it's been won by a bunch of teams that don't have this out-of-world quarterback. So I don't think Drew doesn't need to go out and throw for 400 yards. That's not what this team needs. But they do need, hey, it's 3rd and 7. Can you make that throw to the open guy and convert that 3rd down? I think it's more about situationally being really good and in crunch time being really good rather than putting up these ginormous numbers.
I love that. And I completely agree with you. And this might be us as fans and, commentators and stuff. It's us putting the pressure on him and we just need to calm down because you're right. At the end of the day, we don't need him to win games. We just need him to not lose them. If the defense can do what the defense is going to do, there is no reason why we have to have all this pressure on him. But like you said, at the same time, that 3rd and 7, when we need it, are you going to help us? Or are you going to win this game first or are you going to lose this game first? We don't need you to go throw a 47-yard pass right here. Get the 7, run it down there, and make the little ticky, the ticky-tackies. I'm okay with ticky-tacky. If you want to go for 25, for 32, for 137 yards, I'm okay with that. Just keep moving forward, just inch by inch.
Yeah, just move the chains. With how football's changed, I mean, a lot of the explosive plays are going away because the type of defense that's being played now. Everybody's dropping 2 safeties deep. They're making everything be in front of them. So it's harder than ever to be an explosive play. You're seeing that in the NFL. Week 1. Week 1 was low scoring because there's no explosive plays because everybody's just playing 2 deep safeties and keeping everything in front of them. It's going to trickle down into the college, and it's going to be harder to get those 40, 50, 60-yard touchdown plays. But can you convert the 3rd and 3, the 3rd and 7, whether it be with his legs or his arm? I don't care how it gets converted, but we got to be situationally, he needs to be elite. If he's not going to be Joe Burrow and throw for 400 yards, then situationally we need him to be elite.
We need to add to the title of this episode / situational awareness.
Exactly. It's the word of the day.
You literally nailed it on the head. Like everybody calls you a pocket quarterback, but boy, I've seen you run. I know you got legs. Sometimes you just got to let the dog run a little bit. Let that dog run sometimes. There's no reason why you can't get the 7. He's a big boy too. I mean, he's kind of got that Josh Allen build. I mean, you drop your shoulder onto somebody, you might be surprised what the outcome of that's going to be.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before. Does Drew have the it factor that you need at quarterback? Even though Ohio State's quarterback last year and J.J. McCarthy 2 years ago weren't the greatest passers, greatest quarterbacks in the world, they still had that it factor that when the team needed a play.
Hold on. Did you see JJ on Monday night? I mean,
yeah, 4th quarter JJ was good.
Yeah, 1 through 3, not so good. But that's when you need to be good. And that kind of is, it's funny that really comes back in, I don't mind you having a mediocre 3 quarters, but when the game is on the line and push comes to shove, I need you to lock in, and I need to see something different.
Right. I mean, it's so hard to explain what the it factor is, or does he have the dog in him? Like that's the the saying of nowadays. Like, does he have that dog in him? I don't know if he does, but you need a little bit in you. Like Trace McSorley had that in him. Trace McSorley had the it factor.
He had that dog in him.
Like we were back in his days, we were a second half team for a reason. It's because Trace McSorley, when the team needed him most, he was able to make the home run play, make the big play, long touchdown, convert the 3rd and long. We need to see Drew evolve into that. And maybe he can now with Trace kind of in his ear a little bit.
100%. And, and this is, and once again, though, on the other end of this, maybe this is just Penn State not playing their whole hand. I mean, you're playing lesser ranked teams. Maybe these are just all the things they're working on that they saw that they had issues in training camp, in spring training. Maybe they're literally going at these things that they think are a problem, and they're not even showing their full hand yet. We don't have any reason to. I don't mean we don't have any reason to think that, but that's just something that popped into my head, and I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's some of that, being vanilla on offense. Same thing with the defense is just out athleting everybody. It doesn't matter if they're rolling anything out. Like
I don't think the defense has changed formations a single time this entire in the first 3 games. I think they've just come out like almost literally in the same formation every single time.
Yeah, like they don't need to do anything crazy right now with the competition they're playing. The offense, though, I mean, not to harp back on what we've talked about all summer, but the narrative right now is Penn State's not number 2 in the country. Penn State's not that good. It's Penn State being overranked again. Well, and James Franklin after the game said, well, we're rotating a lot of guys in, so it's hard to get rhythm. I get it. It's a long season. You're playing for January. You're not playing for September. I understand that, but other teams are too, and they're not struggling with the lesser opponents like we are. So it might be time, let's take the reins off a little bit as we get more punny. let's take the reins off and let this offense run if that's the case. Like let's put up 50, 60 points.
No.
Like,
I hear your puns here, but here's the thing: in a poker game, you can't show your cards all at once because guess what? They're going to know what you're going to do later on. If I've got a good hand over here, I can't just be telling y'all I've got aces. I don't want you to know what I've got in my hand. I might do some silly little stuff here. Maybe I only ran between the tackles for the first 3 weeks on purpose. Maybe we haven't seen a lot of motions for certain reasons. Maybe we're just kind of keeping our hands close to our chest here, making sure that nobody else is going to get a good read on what we're going to do later on.
Yeah, you just with your motion thing, like that just struck me. Like last year we were running motion like 90% of plays.
See,
we're not motion. Like the lineman has not been in motion a single time this year.
And so do you think that's the new offense, or do you think that's us not showing our hands and just making sure that we're working on fundamental football right now so that when we get to Oregon, when we get to Ohio State, and then all of a sudden they're going to see stuff they've never seen before in that game and they're going to lose their mind?
Could be. I hope so. Like, I really hope so. I hope this isn't what we are. Like, if we are what we have been the first 2 games, Oregon's good. Like, Oregon's really good.
They're very good. But watching Oregon, I don't know. Are they showing their hands too much here? I think this might be a little game of – I'm really now thinking about this might be a game of cat and mouse that we're playing right now.
I would like to believe that. I hope that is the case. Or it's just lack of focus. Like, there's so many reasons it could be that we just don't want it to be that we're not as good as we thought.
I mean, yeah, we can always go down that road. We can. Or,
I don't want to go down that road.
And then perfect. Cat and mouse game. Listen to this. We're playing possum right now. All right. We're just sitting there like a little dead possum on the road. Just going, nope, dead. Coast clear. All right. Jump it. Get him.
All right. So I think as we're closing at the end of the show here, because it's pregame for Villanova, not a whole lot going on, basically we're talking about optics at this point.
Yes, we are.
So maybe we should do like a little rapid fire, like based on position, what we want to see to close out the show.
Love it. Then
like just like a little like lightning round, one sentence or one stat line we want to see.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, let's start off with quarterback. What do you need to see from quarterback for Villanova?
Crisp. Quarterback from Villanova?
Or quarterback Drew Alar against Villanova.
Crisp. I want to see crispy.
I want to see situational awareness.
Okay, the word of the day.
Word of the day. All right, running back.
Efficiency. I want to see them go off. I want to see the efficient use of them.
I want to see explosiveness. I want to see Nick get explosive.
Okay, like that. I like that word. That's a good one.
All right, wide receiver.
Just keep swimming. Just keep doing what you're doing.
That's another movie quote.
I got a gang of these, man.
Contested catches. I'll go with that. Like, continue to make the contested catches because we haven't had that in the past.
All right, like it.
All right, we got 2 more. Tight end.
I want to see a little more. A little more usage. If you make good usage out of what you got here, a little more usage. That's the one I'm going to go with there.
I want to see hands because we've had a couple drops from the quarterback or tight end.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I want to see hands, like sticky hands.
All right.
Offensive line,
moving earth. Just keep moving earth. Been saying that since week 1. Move earth. I just want to see these boys moving.
I'm going to another. I want to part the sea. Part the sea. Wide open spaces.
Just open it up.
All right. So that'll do it for us. We'll leave you with, let's do a prediction.
Okay.
Like I was I was a little bit better the first game, and you were a little bit better against the FIU. So, with that being said, why don't you give us your prediction for Penn State Villanova?
I think Penn State Villanova is going to be Penn
Wait,
State.
you want do you want the line first?
I actually do. Yes.
Okay. Line is 47.5.
Okay.
Over unders 55.
Okay. I've got this game. Villanova 7, Penn State 42.
Okay.
And so I'm taking the under.
Gotcha. I'm going. We break out. We're feeling good about ourselves. I'm going big.
Okay. I love this.
I want 59-3.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
I want big. I want fireworks.
That is over big, too, by the way.
I want the sun setting in Beaver Stadium, and there are some crooked numbers on the scoreboard for us.
You're just looking at those going, is that really the score?
That's what I want to see. I want to see the first number in the score for us be higher than a 4. Like, we need a 50 burger, 60 burger. Other teams put up 70 burgers. Like, we need to get our burger on.
Yeah, a good burger would be nice right now.
That's get our burger on.
A good burger.
All right, that'll do it for us. Episode 24, Penn State live on the Voice of College Football Network. Like, subscribe, review. Thanks for watching, and go Nittany Lions.
Yeet.